Hey gang, so we're here today taking a look at a 2018 Hyundai Santa Fe Sport. So this is the smaller Hyundai Santa Fe. There's two models. There's this model, which is the standard two-row 4-cylinder edition. There's also the main Santa Fe non-sport is actually a 3-row V6 model. So we're here looking at the entry-level Santa Fe Sport, base model, all-wheel drive. This is the third generation of the Santa Fe, launched in 2013, and actually 2018 was its last year. The redesigned 2019 is already out on dealer lots and on the street. So looks wise, there's not a whole lot to go over. It's not my favorite looker, but I think it's, you know, they sell a buttload of these things. So I think there's just so many of them on the road that we're just used to seeing it, and it's just another vehicle. 2017 saw a few updates, just little changes to like the grille, headlights, and taillights, but basically styling wise on the exterior, they've looked pretty much the same since they came out in 2013. There are a lot of options that you can get on this vehicle. I mean, these start in the mid-20s and they go all the way up to around 40. So, you know, they start pretty basic, you know, halogen headlights, it has a key, no push button start, things like that. Exterior wise, so we've got, you know, you can upgrade that to HID headlights, nicer wheels, dual exhaust, all sorts of things. But as I said, this is actually a base model. I don't think it has a single option other than all-wheel drive. In lieu of looking around the outside, since this is a quick review, let's start off looking at the cargo area and take a look inside, and then we'll get to the drive and see if this holds up to Hyundai's reputation of having a decent vehicle with really great features and a mediocre drive. I literally have not even gotten behind the wheel of this thing, so this is gonna be fun. I'm actually finding out about it for the first time with y'all, so let's see how it goes. Looking around here in the cargo hold, we've actually got a decent amount of space. So this, size-wise, I think people get confused in what category these vehicles are exactly, because it's kind of a tweener, and you can get them so decontented that I think that a lot of times they sort of get put up against like a CR-V or a RAV4. This is actually more of a Ford Edge, Jeep Grand Cherokee type competitor. But you can really see that great space back here, and not only that, there's a little bit of, there's a small cubby here, as well as if we just hold this thing up, all of this is storage. Just little cubby holes to put places under it. There is a spare tire in this. The jack is here. The spare tire is actually up under the vehicle. And you can actually, they fairly prominently put the place where you screw that down to let it out here. Nothing else really back here. There is one 12-volt cigarette lighter outlet. Folding the second row seats requires you to go up into the second row of the vehicle. Taking a look here at the second row, I mean, seats flip easily. There's just a little lever down here at the bottom. And this actually, I was kind of surprised that this is a 40-20-40 split with reclining seat back. Space back here is actually fairly generous, as you would expect out of a more mid-size offering. I've got the front seat adjusted for myself, and I fit back here just fine, plenty of foot room. There is just a barely noticeable driveline hump here in the middle, so that doesn't really preclude a third passenger too much from their foot room. There's one 12-volt outlet here in the center stack, but curiously the air conditioning vents are actually here in the pillars on both sides, and they do include a stop so you can stop airflow. Even with this passenger seat all the way back, way farther than you would ever really need it, I still fit in this second row. Not super comfortably, but you know, I can get in for a short trip. This center position, there's a center fold down with two cup holders here, and this also has a lever on the back where you can fold that down, ostensibly for a pass-through for skis or long items, something like that. But overall, I mean, for an entry-level vehicle, not bad as far as cargo space and flexibility. All right, so taking a look at the inside, I will note that, remind you again that this is the base model. Of course, it's a rental car, so there is no window sticker or anything. But I'm pretty sure that the only option that this thing has on it is the all-wheel drive. I did a moment of looking around at these online, and it seems that even like the first option that you get is a power driver's seat, and this doesn't have that. It's manual, fore and aft recline. It does have a height function. It does have a power lumbar adjustment, which is actually nice. The seat seems fairly comfortable, just sitting in it for like 5 minutes. So we'll have to see. We'll take it out on the road in a little bit and see long term. As far as the interior, everything's actually decent. The gauges are nice and legible. There is a passable, passable selling it a little bit short. A decent, let's see if I can set that down. A decent trip computer, little center display in here, which is nice to see on a base model. Where you can get some adjustability, steering wheel controls for your stereo, cruise control, and the Bluetooth phone. And then this is the actual control for the screen between the gauges. But looking around, I mean, materials quality, of course, is low end. This is soft. This is like a pseudo soft. I think it's only soft because the door gives a little bit. So there is a screen in the center stack, just your basic controls. It is actually a touch screen, as well as being able to use some of these knobs over here for it. But it works well. The only thing I don't like, the Bluetooth, it's really easy to pair your phone. Like, I was impressed by how simple it is. But then like every time you get in the car, it has to research through all the phones that it has in the list before it's going to get to your phone. So that was kind of annoying. And every time it stops the radio to try and resync my contacts. And I'm just like, just stop that. So maybe that's something that could be overcome with actually using it on a regular basis. It does, kind of comically, it does give you the website for Hyundai USA to go if you're having Bluetooth problems. So I don't know. It seems fairly intuitive, so I'm hopeful that might be something that could be easily overcome. So a volume knob and a tuning knob is nice to have. Just a standard non-automatic climate control, but it's simple. Got all your main displays are right here. Easy to use, easy to see, easy to find. Of course, no smoking. This is a rental car, mind. The thing I was most impressed with and think that owners would get the most use out of is there is a lot of storage in this vehicle. Like, this is a pretty notable, like, deep cubby hole here for your phone, glasses, all sorts of things. With, of course, USB aux and 2 cigarette lighter outlets. Cup holder here. This center console bin is also very deep. I can take this. This is a fairly large cup, and it fits all the way in there with the little removable tray. The only thing about this is there is not another power outlet of any kind in here. They do give you things you could run your phone cord from up here back to here, but you have to do that if you want to drop a tablet or something in here and actually have it charge. In addition to these 2 cup holders and the 2 in the back middle, there's a cup holder in each door, as well as some mat pocket storage even in the rear doors. This also is complete, so it has you can put change or something in here. But overall, just lots of little storage places. Glove box is decent. There's a little place on the dashboard where you can put a few things. It's actually a little deeper than you would think it would be. Sunglasses holder overhead that you can't see. Thank you, 9 a.m. sunshine. But yeah, overall, pleasantly surprised for a base model Hyundai. I know it is a mid-size, so you expect a few things in here, but pleasantly surprised by the features. Material quality is okay. I mean, it's pretty much what you would expect of a base model vehicle. So I don't see a whole lot that I would make huge improvements here, other than maybe that Bluetooth, and it could be operator error, because literally I've used it once, and I'm throwing it under the bus. Going for a quick spin in the 2018 Hyundai Santa Fe Sport. So I've just gotten done with about an hour and a half long drive on the highway to another town. So the reason my mom has had this for 3 weeks is her Honda Pilot was totaled, and she's actually just bought a brand new Acura MDX. So that's super exciting. Check back a little later for that review if you're interested. But back to the Hyundai. So I was actually a little bit more impressed with it than I planned to be, because they always just looked so just sort of plain and basic, and Hyundai is not known for having great ride quality, handling, driving feel, all those things, but this is actually passable. It rides pretty well. Some bumps you feel that you wouldn't expect to, but it's not a sophisticated, fancy suspension, so that's gonna happen. It doesn't wallow and sort of just do this whole weaving around motion that even some fairly recent Hyundai Kia products that I've been in have done. It does just a touch of that, but you really kind of have to look for it to notice it. It largely controls most of the bumps that come along in the road, so that was a nice surprise. Steering feel is good. We definitely didn't go on any back roads or anything like that, so I don't know how it really handles. It does seem to have a little bit of body roll just from the couple of little things that I've done, but largely steering feel for just highway driving is great. I don't have to think about it. There's not a lot of course correcting or anything like that. Power is adequate, so this is just the base. It's a 2.4 liter direct injected 4-cylinder engine with a 6-speed automatic, and it's fine. Even on the interstate, it does accelerate. So that's about the best thing you can say about it. It sounds awful. When it's idling, it sounds awful. When it's getting up towards the top of the red line, it sounds awful. So since I told you it sounds like crap, here it is actually sounding like crap. That's a lot of modern 4-cylinders just sound like crap. So there is a quicker turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder in the upgraded Sport model, so this is the Hyundai Santa Fe Sport, and you can also buy a Sport model. Literally all the words that they could have picked to name a trim, and they had to make anyways. But yeah, so the upgraded Sport model does have a 2-liter turbo engine, if that's something that interests you. For braking is fine. I would say it doesn't have great braking feel, but it gets the job done. For actual, sight lines are good. Road noise is fairly well managed. This one has a lot of tire noise. I don't know if that was a poor tire selection from the factory, or the fact that this is a rental car with 25,000 miles on it, so it's probably seen its fair share of abuse. Fuel economy was a strong point. So luckily, having an engine with just adequate power, we got about 32 miles to the gallon according to the onboard trip computer in our trip, which was large. It was rural highway, so 55 miles an hour, stop lights along the way, with some 70 mile an hour limits mixed in. So I think 32 is fairly good. In the mid-size category, to get that, you're going to have to look at something like, on the highway, a diesel Grand Cherokee, or some of the European, diesel vehicles, something much more expensive to get this size with that kind of fuel economy. If a 4-cylinder just isn't really your thing, or you need more space, like the third row, there is the standard Santa Fe model, which is going to come with a 3.3 liter V6 that bumps, instead of 185 in this base model, 260 in the upgraded turbo model, but the bigger Santa Fe with the V6 is 290 horsepower. So that one's fairly powerful. So you get smoother 6-cylinder, more space, but of course more money. If you're looking at buying one of these vehicles today, it's probably going to be used. There may still be a handful of leftover 18s on dealer lots, but the good thing is they actually make great values used. It's pretty easy to find the higher trim levels that are going to have heated and ventilated seats, HID headlights, panoramic sunroof, that turbocharged engine if you want it. I've did a little bit of looking into reliability on these. They tend to hold up pretty well, especially the both of the non-turbo engines. I couldn't find it too much definitive about the turbo, but this drivetrain is in tons of Hyundai Kia products. So, getting one decently reliable is pretty important to them. And of course, you've got that warranty. Even a second-hand one of these will be warranted through 5 years or 60,000 miles, which is pretty good. And I think you can also buy extended warranty coverage from Hyundai after that. So if you're if just basic transportation, a plain one like this is nice. If you want all those extra features and don't have a whole lot of money to pay for them, I think you could do a lot worse than checking out one of these. So yeah, if this is the type of vehicle that a dedicated car person probably won't appreciate too much, but if you just want a good, solid, reliable car and are looking for something, look into one of these. Whether you want the 2-row or the 3-row, I would imagine the 3-row probably drives largely the same as this one, but definitely test drive before you buy. We'll probably be doing some more reviews in this format, so let me know what you think. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. Check out my Facebook and Instagram pages as well. And until next time, thanks for watching.